Thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Bell, and this is To the Point. Over the past few months, we have been talking a lot about the storms in Northern California. I mean, this is the view over South Lake Tahoe this week. Look at that, just absolutely gorgeous. But there is still a threat. All of this snow, it has to go somewhere. And now we know the snow has taken another life. This is Jason Kasem. He was the father of two. He just died of carbon monoxide poisoning at his home in Drum 4 Bay. A snowpack collapsed, trapping him inside with the generator's fumes. And Jason and his family, they moved away from the Bay Area up to the Sierra just to be closer to nature. But in tonight's main point, as Luke Cleary shows us, this winter brought more than this family bargained for.
Trading city life in the Bay Area for views like these. Jason Kasem made a home in the Sierra with his family last year.
Jason had these beautiful sparkly eyes and just this gorgeous smile, and he loved my sister and those kids so much. Just so much, and he never wanted them to want for anything, and he tried really hard up there.
Sarah Marcantonio is Jason's sister-in-law. She says her sister Melissa, Jason, and two kids, Juliana and Jeffrey, had their mountain dream home.
Everything was good until this California winter that's happened that's just dumped immeasurable amounts of snow.
That snow rising up to the second-story window, more danger than meets the eye. On Wednesday, a heavy storm knocked out power, and Jason didn't want the generator to run out of gas while the kids were washing up.
So he just said, I'm going to go put gas in the generator and I'll be right back.
The generator was in a structure on the side of the home. A snowbank collapsed, trapping Jason inside along with the fumes. Melissa realized something was wrong.
She started digging and she saw him down inside, and she went in to get him and she slid in with him.
Jason was already unconscious, and Melissa found herself stuck too. The kids heard her calls for help and started digging with pots and pans. Juliana called 911, but first responders got stuck in the snow.
It took an hour and a half for them to get there.
An off-duty firefighter in the area got word and rushed over to help.
Got the kids in the house to safety, and he dug and he dug and he pulled my sister straight up. And they said there was like 10 feet of snow on top of her. And had it been much longer, she wouldn't have made it. In fact, they've all said they're shocked she's still alive, that it's a miracle that she's still alive.
A miracle that these two kids still have their mother. It was too late for Jason. He died of carbon monoxide poisoning.
She's going to be the only provider for them, and I know she's so scared.
Now that he's gone, Jason's family remembering him for those blue eyes and his love of life.
He was a wonderful man. He was a wonderful man, and he tried extraordinarily hard to just make their lives wonderful.
And rethinking their lives on the mountain.
I can't even wrap my head around this devastating story. I mean, can you imagine your first year living in the Sierra, and it's one of the snowiest on record, and you've spent a lot of time up in the snow. You know, what are some of the things that really stand out to you this time around?
Sure. I tell you, Alex, I've had a front row seat to this epic California winter. We've seen lots of snow and impacts, not just on people living up in the mountains, but further down the foothills. And for all of us, we've experienced rain and snow and everything in between on the roadways. In fact, on one of the stories that I was on my way to cover, we saw a traffic accident unfold right in front of us. What you're looking at right now, this is drone video that we shot in the community of Forest Hill. Now, this is a little ways down the mountain. This is actually in the foothills, and they tell me that in some areas they were getting 5 and 6 feet of snow.
Oh my gosh.
Amounts that they are not used to in that area, amounts that they have never seen before in some cases. And the reason that we were there to cover it was, unfortunately, another deadly incident that took place there. An elderly woman, we understand, was out on her porch and snow collapsed. She sadly lost her life. And so the story that we shared about the Kasem family is unfortunately the second deadly incident that I've had to cover this winter alone.
And I mean, we're still watching this because all that snow, it has to melt. And so I know that you talked to rescue crews recently.
Yeah.
What are they saying about all this snow that's getting ready to melt?
So just before joining you here, I spoke with the drowning accident rescue team that operates here locally. We'll have more with them later tonight on Late News Tonight. But one of the things that they wanted to really stress is the fact that with all of this snowpack, all of this snowmelt coming through our area, the waterways are going to be faster, colder, and higher than what you're used to. And so you may be spending time in areas that you think you know, like Tiscornia Beach, for example, where people are used to having a nice long sandbar going out where you can just walk comfortably almost to the middle of the river. That may not be there as a result of this increased water flow. So it's just really important that you take caution and always wear a life jacket when you're on the river.
That's right, Luke. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I do want to go ahead and get over to Carly, because Carly, you're taking a look at just how cold, this water can actually be.
Yeah, that's right. The water is very cold. And what we've been tracking for quite a while now is how much is filling in those reservoirs. They're needing to start letting some of that water go, specifically Folsom Dam. It is set up there to protect a lot of the urban community around it from getting flooded. The American River, look at those temperatures, 47.8 degrees. Sacramento, 52.9. Yuba River at 51.7. Further south, you're looking at McCollum River at 46 degrees. San Joaquin, 55. Stanislaus, 48. Tuolumne, 49. So anywhere around 45 to 55 degrees is where we've been seeing a lot of the river temperatures just so cold. You want to stay away from that. This weekend, we will start seeing temperatures rising into the 70s. So I know a lot of people want to take advantage and even maybe go out and tan a little bit, get some sun on their face, but stay away from the banks of those rivers. Right now, we are looking at a low pressure system that's going to bring increased cloud coverage for us tomorrow. Also bringing increased wind speeds, about 10 to 15 miles per hour by Friday early morning hours. We are seeing some storm systems, at least this first one coming in here, at least for the Sacramento area and the High Sierra spots, pushing through right around after lunchtime or so. We should start seeing it clear out and looking towards Sunday. Originally, computer models showed that this system here was going to make its way further down south, right through the Sacramento area for Easter Sunday. Now, those computer models are showing it might actually stay further north, and we might just get a little bit of cloud coverage mixed with some sunshine. Now, as that system starts breaking apart Monday into Tuesday, we may miss out altogether on any kind of rain following this Friday's storm system. Looking at the winds now, 15 miles per hour, but by Thursday, picking up to about 15 to 20, and some of the gusts could pick up for those Sierra spots way up there toward 35, 45 miles per hour. We will see things slowing down into your weekend. Snowpack totals, though, not as significant at all for Donner, Echo, and everything south of that. Sonora, 1 to 2 inches, but it's less than 18 to 24 inches possible there. So most of that storm system, again, staying north of us, north of 80 really for Friday even, but mostly we're looking at maybe less than 1/10 of an inch of rain even in the valley. In the next 5 days, temperatures start rising back into the 70s. Yeah, mid to low 70s for the weekend. And let's take a quick look here at your Easter forecast. 65 degrees for the Bay Valley, about 74 degrees. The foothills, 69 in the Sierra, 55 degrees on Easter, Alex.
Thanks, Carly. Our storms in Northern California have also been life-altering for Modesto native and actor Jeremy Renner. He is now giving his first interview about his life-threatening accident where he was run over by a 7-ton snowplow on New Year's Day as he was trying to save his nephew's life. In an exclusive interview with ABC's Diane Sawyer, the actor talks about the accident that put him in critical condition with more than 30 broken bones and a punctured lung. The special also features interviews with Renner's family, including the nephew that he was trying to protect. It's a powerful story of strength in Jeremy's fight to really live. And you can watch Diane Sawyer's exclusive interview with Jeremy Renner tomorrow night on ABC 10. Coming up after the break, a mother's son overdoses in the room next to hers. Her story aired just last night here on To The Point. Now, some of you are sharing your thoughts. On this show, you already know, we love getting your feedback. And the team, we read through all of your comments, your texts, your emails. And today we are addressing a question about fentanyl and Narcan, because last night on To The Point, we shared the story of 21-year-old Ian Walsh, who died of an accidental fentanyl overdose. His mother, Judy, told us that her son had taken what he thought was Percocet that he bought on his own. The coroner's report said only fentanyl was found in his system. A doctor tells me that drugs laced with fentanyl are not uncommon at all.
We find fentanyl in everything. People come in taking drugs like Percocets or Xanax or something that they bought and they had no intention of taking fentanyl at all, but they overdosed. Someone found them unconscious, someone called 911, the paramedics gave them Narcan, and then they're awake again and they're like, what happened? So it's pretty common that we see it. Back when I was in DC, we even saw some weed that was laced with fentanyl. So it's very common, and everyone should definitely know what the signs of an overdose look like.
And with the fentanyl crisis growing, the federal government has now approved the sale of over-the-counter Narcan. It's an overdose reversal spray, and many of you had questions about it. One person saying, why are they just now making this over-the-counter? It's been over-the-counter for years. I keep some in my emergency medical kit. So before the FDA approved Narcan over the counter, the spray was available in pharmacies with and without a prescription, but not every pharmacy carries it. The medication was also available through community organizations and emergency rooms. But now with the over-the-counter approval of Narcan, it would be available in many more places like convenience stores, supermarkets, and online retailers, for instance. But it's still unclear what and how many stores will carry it, and the price of it still unknown. Right now, the average price that we saw is anywhere between $20 to $60 for those 2 doses. And we also want to address using Narcan because some of you also had questions asking if it was harmful. So the CDC says that naloxone can be given safely to people of all ages, from infants to older adults. This includes an adolescent or young adult who may have unintentionally taken an opioid. The doctor I spoke with also said that it will not hurt someone if they are overdosing on opioids or other drugs. So it is always best to use it if you think someone is overdosing. And you can keep all of your comments and questions, keep them coming in. And again, the team, we read all of your comments, all of your texts and emails. So please reach out to us. You can text us To The Point by texting the number 916-321-3310. You can always send us an email at tothepoint@abc10.com. Still ahead, addressing mental health in our communities as suicide claims more teens' lives. There are growing concerns in our communities about students' mental health. A teen, she took her own life last week at her school in Olivehurst, and now her family is raising awareness. 14-year-old Autumn Estes was found dead at Lyndhurst High School. Her family is now planning a walk this Friday in hopes to prevent other families from losing a child to suicide.
I think we're really just wanting time to grieve and process it, but we're also wanting, like the walk, we definitely want to be part of things like that, and I think it's definitely a positive thing.
The walk will start at the Marysville Mountain Mike's Pizza at 4 p.m. on Friday. And there are several local organizations helping students and younger people, and the Sacramento Youth Center says that there's never just one thing that leads to someone to consider taking their own life. There are also a lot of pressures put on young people surrounding the pandemic, and then you have, of course, social media.
Sometimes it can have negative effects with people that they might not get along with, or people that are cyberbullying.
I'm seeing like a lot of issues with family trauma, a lot of family burdens getting passed down to them.
And if you are noticing that someone is having a hard time, the Sacramento Youth Center says to acknowledge the pain being experienced and be a support in that moment. And if you or someone you know is having a difficult time, you can call or text 988. It is a free and confidential support system available 24/7. And again, on this show, we always want to hear your thoughts. So coming up next week on To The Point, we are further addressing mental health. We want to answer any questions or concerns you have about mental health, care, or services. And you can scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen. Send us a text. Next week, we are also taking a closer look at anxiety and how many share the same challenges in their journey to managing their mental health illnesses. Take a look.
I'm constantly worried about something not getting done. Some people call it the type A personality, they want everything in order. It's anxiety.
When I got the diagnosis, I felt like a second-rate human.
I shouldn't be feeling this way. Unworthiness, weakness, the feeling of being numb. My heart will start beating out of my chest, physical pain.
It's uncomfortable, but it won't last forever.
Catch our series Anxiety Nation right here on To The Point next week, Tuesday through Thursday. And we want to answer any questions you have about mental health care or mental health care services. You can scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen and send us a text. Here are some other stories that people are talking about today. The number of students enrolled in California schools continues to decline, while the number of homeless students has increased. The state's Department of Education says that California saw a 9% increase in the number of homeless students in the last school year. There's now about 187,000 homeless students in the state. 100-foot quiet zones are now being required around Sacramento healthcare facilities. The ordinance was introduced by Sacramento City Council after protests outside of local Planned Parenthood locations. Supporters say those protests can keep patients from getting medical attention because of the harassment and intimidation that they face. And all of the rain this past winter, it's creating quite the super bloom. This is up in Santa Cruz. The bright orange poppies taking over the fields. Look how beautiful that is. The last California super bloom back in 2019. It attracted thousands trying to snap a perfect photo. Nearby Lake Elsinore already closed popular walking trails until the super bloom is over. All right, and the weather finally warming up, as Carly mentioned. We'll have a beautiful weekend ahead. Sacramento right now at 62, Modesto at 60, Tahoe seeing 38 degrees. And here's a look at your 10-day forecast. Easter right around the corner. Tonight is the start of Passover. The Jewish holiday begins at sundown. It ends this evening, of Thursday, April 13th. It's just one of many religious holidays that's happening in April, and our John Bartel is taking a closer look at the lesser-known traditions happening this month.
While many families are preparing for Easter egg hunts and Sunday service, let's not forget the other religious holidays that take place in April. Over at the Chabad of Greater Sacramento, chicken is cooking, and Rabbi Mendy is preparing to hand out matzah for Passover.
This is called the unleavened bread, bread that doesn't rise.
In Judaism, the Passover holiday commemorates the Hebrews' liberation from slavery in Egypt and the passing over when the Lord punished the land of Egypt.
Every Passover, God gives us the ability to be free of our ego and of our limitations.
For the next 8 days, the only bread they're allowed to eat is matzah, which symbolizes suffering. The holiday ends with the meal of Messiah, which is a feast accompanied by prayers. Since the crescent moon first appeared this April, the Muslim community has been celebrating Ramadan. Over at the Mahid al-Rahman in Arden Arcade, Mohammed Ibrahim and other members of the mosque have been fasting for nearly 2 weeks now.
You can't eat, you can't drink, can't smoke.
Based off a lunar calendar, Ramadan is a month-long celebration when Muhammad received the first initial revelations from the Quran, which is the holy book for Muslims. Fasting, prayer, and a month of good deeds lead up to a celebration and a feast. The holiday is a reminder of self-restraint.
It's something like you feel good about doing good things in Ramadan.
Helping to celebrate all holidays in April, I'm John Bartel.
Again, that was John Bartel reporting, and we do want to wish you a happy Easter, Passover, and Ramadan to all who celebrate. We're back right after this. Something big is coming to downtown Sacramento. The portion of Highway 50 that runs between W and X Streets, it's getting a makeover. The underbelly of Highway 50 will soon become a mural museum, and photojournalist Xavier URT spoke with the brains behind the idea.
There's 28 columns per block, and we want to go from 24th Street to 6th Street. We wanted to make this a project for Sacramento, of Sacramento. You know, you need to see art of the community that you're in that represents you. And the same concept with the art that you see should be done by some of the talent that's in this city.
It's gratifying. I think it's great for the youth to see this, and I think it's great for the city. It's a really, really big gift for the city.
This is going to be a change to the landscape of what we have been seeing in our community since we've started the murals in our community. These are a collection of storytelling importance of our region. So we feel that's going to be the gravity to what we're doing.
And this project, Sacramento's WX Mural Museum, it's looking for sponsors. The project is expected to get underway later this spring, and we'll have that full story on the project coming up next week right here on To The Point. We hope you have a great night. I'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Hey, it's Alex. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really love hearing from everyone, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. Reach out to me on Facebook at AlexBellTV, or you can email me at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send me a text message at 916-321-3310.